Could we just give a couple of moments for some, in case anyone else wants to show up? There was someone else, but I guess they. Hmm. All right, inshallah, we get started. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. عن أبي أمامة رضي الله عنه قال قيل يا رسول الله أي الدعاء أسمع قال جوف الليل الآخر ودبر الصلوات المكتوبات رواه الترمذي عن أبي أمامة رضي الله عنه قال قيل يا رسول الله أي الدعاء أسمع قال جوف الليل الآخر ودبر الصلوات المكتوبات. Abu Umama radiallahu anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked, O Rasulullah, at what time is dua the most readily listened to and accepted? He replied, the one made during the course of the latter part of the night and after the obligatory salats. Abu Umama radiallahu anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam was asked, O Rasulullah, at what time is dua the most readily listened to and accepted? He replied, the one made during the course of the latter part of the night and after the obligatory salawat. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is informing us of which dua is the most readily accepted. And both of these have a connection to salat. Both of these have a connection to salat. After in the latter part of the night, when a person wakes up for tahajjud, this is one of the times when the dua is readily accepted. And the other one is after the fard salat. After the fard salat. So salat, not only is it a means of taking care of our needs of akhirah, miftahul jannati as-salah. The key of Jannah is salat. The key to Jannat is? Ji Yusuf, kya hai? What is the key of Jannat? Khadija? Ji, bahut achhi baat. The key to Jannat is salat. But salat is such a thing that it even will help us take care of our needs of the world. In the world, it will help us take care of our needs. Whatever a person's needs may be, he can have his needs fulfilled through salat. Even to the extent of rizq, his sustenance. Whenever Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have any difficulties with the rizq, or there'd be a shortage of, there wouldn't be food in the house or so on, then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would tell his wives, he would recite this ayat to them, where Allah orders in the salat in the Quran, وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاسْتَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا لَا نَسْأَلُكَ رِزْقًا نَحْنُ نَرْزُقُكَ وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلتَّقْوَى. Rasulullah recite this ayat, which means that order your family to perform salat, and you yourself be constant therein. We do not ask you for rizq. Allah is not interested in rizq from us. Allah will give us rizq. And the good result in the akhirah is for the people of taqwa. So, even to the extent of rizq, which is generally a person's greatest concern, he's looking how he can fill his belly, how he can have, a roof over his head. These basic things of rizq, this is what he's concerned with. And this can be fulfilled through salat. So as we enter into this month of Rajab, the month of Rajab just started 1, 2 days back. So there's a dua which is commonly recited. It's not the strongest in terms of its uh, the chain of narrators, but it's not contrary to what Deen demands from us. So if a person recites it with this intention that we just want the good, it's one of the du'as, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. Oh Allah, bless us in Rajab and Sha'ban and make us reach the month of Ramadan. Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. So this is one dua which is commonly mentioned, and it's making its rounds on social media, and that's a good dua. Is it the most authentic in terms of its chain of narrations? No, but nonetheless, it's something that we should seek barakah in these months, and we should want to reach Ramadan. I remember last year, it was when Corona was just getting started up. Then it became uh, clear that, or the fact that we would reach Ramadan, as much as it used to be a given. We felt that it was a given in the previous years. There was no particular pandemic on our neck. There was no immediate means where we would where a person could just randomly lose his life. Although the reality remains the same. Nothing has changed in reality, but we still, it seems different to us because now we're no longer taking it for granted. So we see why it is important to make such du'as that Allah give us tawfiq to reach this month of Ramadan. And being in the month of Rajab, that means that now there's less than 60 days for Ramadan. There's less than 60 days for Ramadan. So is the time to start making our preparations. Also, different people have expressed, it differently. But the idea is same, to make preparation. Some of the scholars used to say that Rajab is the month for putting the seeds into the ground. Then Sha'ban is the month for watering the seeds. And then Ramadan is the month to harvest. Is the month to harvest. जी यूसुफ, harvest क्या है फ्रेंच में? जी, récolte, la grande récolte. जी देखा. So you put the seeds first, you water it after, and then after you've watered and the fruits come up, then you get you can harvest whatever seeds you have sowed. So like that. This is as we are coming into the month of Rajab, it should be a reminder for us that Ramadan is just around the corner. So how can we all prepare for it? How can we get ourselves in line, to make the most out of our Ramadan? No athlete will start preparing, on the day of his performance, whether it be a race, whether it be a fight. No one starts training on the day of the fight. No one starts training on the day of the race. The training happens, the preparation happens much before that, so that when the day of the race comes, or the day of the fight comes, or the day of the whatever, the person he's at his 100%. That's not the time when they say, "Oh my God, it's a race. Let's start getting ready." No, I should have been getting ready from much before. And I particularly brought this hadith of Salat because Rajab is amongst the months which are commonly attributed to the Isra and the Mi'raj. Isra meaning the night journey of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina? No, to Bayt al-Maqdis in Palestine. Masjid Aqsa. Masjid Aqsa. So in the night journey, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went from Mecca to Masjid Aqsa, not to Medina. That'll be a new one. So Medina is not part of this story. Just for the records, this is Rawahu Yusuf. So he's allowed to make these types of mistakes, but do not convey this to anyone else. Otherwise, he'll be starting some new stories. And so when Rasulullah went from Bayt al-Maqdis and he went, Masjid Aqsa, and then Allah took him for the Mi'raj, which was the ascension. Then, as a result of this, Allah gave a gift to Rasulullah. And what was the gift? Salat. It was Salat. And Sahaba became happy because they had a means to take care of their needs. They could ask Allah directly. And when are the best times to ask? When are the du'as most readily accepted? Like we read today? Yes, yeah. But after Fard Salat, uh, in the last part of the night, and after the Fard Salawat. So this, inshallah, we'll talk a bit more uh, about the Isra and the Mi'raj later on, inshallah. But it's a common, it's commonly understood or commonly, you know, common information that it happened on the 27th night of Rajab. This again is also one of the opinions, but it is not a conclusive and a final opinion. It's one of the opinions. So, inshallah, we'll be touching on this because it's all. Why not? But we shouldn't do it with this. Again, it's one of the opinions. It's not the final and conclusive opinion. But whatever the lessons are we can learn, we should try to take them we can whenever we take them and whenever we can act upon them. So inshallah, Allah give us the tawfiq to use this time properly, to make our preparations for the month of Ramadan, to value this month of Rajab, to attach ourselves to our identity, our calendar. Yes, we understand, that we're February and so on and so forth. We use these months because this is the land that we're in, and there's no inherent problem with it. It's fine. It's a point of reference. But what we should really attach ourselves to are these Islamic months, and learning, what happened in them, how can we benefit from them, which ones are the sacred months. Rajab is one of the sacred months also. So during the sacred months, the rewards are increased, and likewise, the burden of the sin also increases because a person was really meant to involve himself in good. So, anyways, inshallah, we'll keep looking back at these topics every now and then, as we lead up to Ramadan. Allah give us all tawfiq to use our time in the most optimal manner and please Him. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.